They say, if you're unlucky enough, you can slip through reality itself. One wrong step, one blink too long, and suddenly you're not in your world anymore. You're in a place that looks like an endless maze of yellow, stained walls, buzzing fluorescent lights, and damp carpet. A place known only as the Backrooms. I never believed in those stories until it happened to me. It started as an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. I was in the office, frustrated at my boss staring at the blinking cursor on my screen. The air smelled faintly of burnt coffee and printer ink. The walls hummed with the white noise of conversation and ringing phones. Nothing strange, nothing unusual, until I tripped. One clumsy step backwards. My heel caught on the edge of the carpet. And then, nothing. No ground, no floor. Just a sudden drop into an impossible void. My stomach lurched, and for a split second I thought I was dreaming. When I landed, it wasn't on cold concrete or the hard tiles of my office. It was soft, damp. My palms pressed into a carpet that reeked of mold and old water. The fluorescent lights above buzzed so loudly I thought my skull would crack. I stood up, dizzy. The air was heavy, humid, thick with something chemical. That was the first time I realized I was no longer in my world. The hallway stretched endlessly in both directions. The walls were an ugly yellow, stained with dark patches. The carpet beneath my shoes squished with every step as though water had seeped deep into the fibers years ago and never dried. I turned a corner. Another hallway. Identical. Another. Another. Every corridor looked exactly the same. No windows, no doors leading outside. Just more rooms, more halls. The buzzing of the lights wasn't consistent. It grew louder in some areas, quieter in others, like the building itself was breathing. I thought I saw shadows move when the bulbs flickered. I tried shouting. My voice echoed endlessly, bouncing back like the walls themselves were mocking me. No answer. That was when fear first set in. Hours, or maybe minutes. Time didn't feel real here. Passed before I heard it. Footsteps, not mine. Somewhere in the maze, someone, or something, was running. The sound was distant. I risked a glance. Something tall, impossibly thin and wrong was moving in the distance. Its body bent unnaturally, jerking with every stride. Its head scraped the ceiling. Its arms stretched far too long, dragging against the walls, leaving greasy smears. And it was fast. I ducked into another corridor, pressed my back to the wall, and tried not to breathe. The creature's footsteps slowed, echoing nearby. It stopped, sniffed the air. The smell of mold was suffocating, but beneath it, I caught something else. Rot. Decay. The thing stood just around the corner. I could hear it breathing, a wet, rattling sound. Then, silence. I don't know how long I stood there, my body trembling before I dared to move. Days passed, or weeks. Time dissolved into the endless monotony of yellow walls and buzzing lights. My phone was dead. My watch had stopped ticking. Hunger gnawed at me. My throat ached with thirst. That's when I found them. At first I thought it was a trick, a hallucination, but no. The figures in the distance were real. People. There were 5 of them huddled together in a corner. Their clothes were ragged. Their faces were pale, their eyes hollow. One of them, a woman with tangled hair and cracked lips, looked at me with a mix of pity and fear. "You shouldn't have come here," she whispered. I laughed bitterly. Like I had a choice. The man beside her shook his head. "No one has a choice. They told me they had been here for months, maybe years. No one knew. The back room swallowed people at random. Anywhere, anytime. A misstep, a glitch, and you fell through reality itself. There's no way out," the woman said. But the worst part wasn't being trapped. It was what hunted them. They warned me about the creatures, shadows with form but no face, things that imitated human voices, calling for help in the distance, things that scraped the ceilings at night. "We call them the Lost Ones," the man explained. "They were people once, just like us, but the back rooms, it changes you. If you're here long enough, you forget. Your body twists. You become one of them." My stomach turned. That meant if I didn't escape, I'd end up the same. That night, as we huddled together in silence, I heard it again. The running, the scraping, the sound of something wet moving in the dark. We didn't sleep. We couldn't. I don't know how long I stayed with them. Days blurred together. Hunger clawed at my belly. My lips cracked, my vision swam. Then I saw it. A door. Not just another endless yellow wall, but a real, solid door at the end of the hall. I ran toward it, the others screaming for me to stop. "Don't open it!" the woman cried. But I didn't listen. My hands gripped the knob. I twisted. The door creaked open. Behind it wasn't freedom, not sunlight, not escape. It was blackness, endless, hungry. Something moved inside. Something smiled. The others dragged me away before I could step inside. Their faces were pale, horrified. "That wasn't a way out," the man hissed. "That was a trap." The rooms play tricks. They show you what you want. They lure you. I realized then, the backrooms weren't just a place. They were alive. They wanted us. The days, or weeks, after that blurred. My mind began to fracture. I caught myself repeating phrases under my breath, scratching the walls with my nails until they bled. Sometimes, I thought I saw doors where there were none. Sometimes, I thought I heard my mother calling my name. But the voices always led deeper, always into darker halls. The others began to fade, one by one. Some wandered off and never returned. Some were taken in the night. And I felt myself changing. My arms ached. My legs felt too long. My vision swam. The buzzing lights were inside my skull now, drilling, drilling, drilling. I wasn't sure how much longer I could stay human. Eventually, I came to a room unlike the others. The carpet was gone. The walls were black. The buzzing had stopped. In the center of the room was a mirror. I staggered toward it, my reflection flickering in the dim light. It wasn't me. Not anymore. The figure staring back was tall, thin. Its arms dragged on the ground. Its head bent sideways at an unnatural angle, and it smiled. I dropped to my knees, screaming. My voice echoed endlessly. The last thing I remember before the darkness swallowed me was the sound of footsteps. My footsteps. Endless. Running.